Hey guys, what's up? This is Gankmeister. Um, Sorry this draft isn't live. I'm traveling right now with my wife. We're at her uncle's, and I couldn't really record this when I did it, but it ended up being interesting enough that I wanted to show it to you. So, anyway, first pick, I take Heat Ray because Brimstone Mage is really powerful, but it's kind of slow. And I mean, you could take it. It's a very powerful card, but Heat Ray to me is more flexible, more desirable, easier to splash too. I like Channelers, but I don't think I'd take it at this point over removal. And next pick, pretty obvious. I take Magma because it's pretty powerful and flexible, and also it cuts off red, which is what I would like to do. And this pick is also easy because by taking Heat Ray, I stay in red. So that was simple. Here is a little different. I wavered between Deprive and Surreal Memoir. There's also Dread Drone as a possibility, but I took Surreal Memoir, and that was possibly not optimal, but I thought at that point maybe I could try to make it work, or kind of go into that deck, because I already had 2 Heat Rays, which are pretty good for Surreal Memoir. Anyway, that's what I took. And if I was going to do the Surreal Memoir deck, best card for that, in my opinion, is Firebore, because it blocks really well, and it also attacks when the board has been cleared and can put the opponent down really fast. If I was going to go with the Surreal Memoir deck, I would take Deprive here, but I took the Battlement as a signal that if a Battlement is still in the pack, pick 6th pick, then I can expect to see some green from my right. And I mean, the Invoker's still in there too. Scorpion is fine, but Battlement is better in certain occasions. Anyway, and this was interesting. I made a very decisive choice, and I decided to go with the Defender deck, taking Ogre Sentry over Naturalize or Surreal Memoir, because I found that no matter what you end up playing, if you make a decision about your deck before too long, then it ends up paying off. I took Spawning Breath because it's red, and I took Snake Umbra because it is really good on a Vent Sentinel, and so I see another Snake Umbra. So although I haven't seen any Vent Sentinels, I'm sure I will, because they only fit in one deck, and that's the deck that I'm making. So, and in that case, I take Battle Rampart. Spawnsire might have been better, actually. And looking back at it now, I wish I'd taken Spawnsire, because I kind of needed some more cards to ramp into. Because when you're playing a Defender deck with green, you end up having, hopefully, several battlements, and you can produce a lot of mana. Here is a difficult pick, because Flame Slash is good, but Palaka Worm is like my favorite fatty to be casting. He can rescue you from a horrible position, and he's just awesome. There's also the Sphinx this pack is great, but the Worm I had no trouble taking. Here's between the Giant and Stagger Shock, and I took Stagger Shock. I was still thinking I might play Surreal Memoir, and I'm less of a ramp deck and more of a defender kind of deck in my mind as I'm planning, and Stagger Shock deals with, flyers, small evasive creatures. And so here I take Ogre Sentry because I don't really want Brood Warden. It doesn't really fit in my deck at the moment. And Overgrown Battlement is the only card I could take out of here. I mean, that's not true. Crusher would have been great, but you have to take Battlements if you're making the deck that I'm making. And obviously I take Vent Sentinel. This is like a gift to me. It's pretty amazing. I've seen a lot of Deprives at this point. Here, I probably should have taken Daggerback, actually, but I take Arnarlid because I have the Snake Umbras, and I think I might, be able to use him. And there's another one, so I'm thinking maybe I could make that a win condition. It's not ideal. I'd rather ramp into some things. I take Sporecap Spider because I don't anticipate splashing, but I could splash. But flying defense is something I'm going to need, so I have to take cards like that. I take Hand. I could have taken Bulwark, but I think I'll see enough Battle Ramparts or Sentries to increase my defender count where I don't really need to play the Bulwark. And I need something to ramp into. So this pick, I possibly screwed up because I took Momentous Fall, and the card theoretically could have been good for me. It didn't end up being good for me because I never had an occasion to cast it, but I like the kind of flexibility it gave me. I figured I might see more win conditions. Rapacious One and Crusher are great fatties for me to play, but Momentous Fall is less likely for me to see. I took Beast Breaker here because gives you something to do with your mana, and sometimes dropping him on turn 2 and making him a 4/4 attacking them on turn 3 is enough. This was tricky, but I think I made the right pick. I have 3 Overgrown Battlements, so I think I have like a lot of ramp. Tree Speaker is always great for that, but Disaster Radius is, one-sided Wrath, so I took it. Here I took Life Strider, works with Disaster Radius, gains me some life. Here I took Vent Sentinel, which was hard because Flame Slash and the Mage and Predator are great cards, but I had only seen one, and if I'm on the Defender plan, I need more than that. I took Pathrazer because I think I have enough ramp to play it. And here I took another Snake Umbra, although I didn't expect to play it. I took Devastating Summons. It's worth, maybe a ticket or something, but it's also playable, but I didn't end up using it. And Growth Spasm is awesome. Boulderfoot is sort of a fatty. And I took that Hand over Prophetic Prism, so that was just not that great. So here's what my deck kind of looked like. The picks, if you see. So in the next video, I'm going to show you what my deck ended up looking like. So thanks for watching, and check it out.